Hey, we are doing 2.1 and 2.2 together today. 2 lessons, 1 day. Whoop, whoop. So we are doing multiplying and dividing integers. So your I can at the top needs to say I can multiply and divide integers. So up at the header, make sure it says I can multiply and divide integers. And our key terms, or what we could also call our vocab, is product and quotient. So remember, product is the result of multiplying and quotient is the result of dividing. Okay, remember with product and quotient, we always just do them in the order they give us. So if I said the product of 2 and 4 is 2 times 4, and the quotient of 2 and 4 is actually 2 divided by 4. Okay, so always in the order they are given. So the reason we are doing these two together is because their rules are the same. And so you'll notice the product or quotient of two integers with the same sign will be positive. So if they're both negative or both positive, then they are positive. And the product or quotient of two integers with different signs, so one positive, one negative, will be negative. And so that's why we're doing them in the same day, because products and quotients have the same rules when it comes to what you do with them. So here we first look, these are the same sign, both negative. So we know that their answer, no matter what it is going to be positive. So we just go 10 times 2 is 20. And since they were the same sign, it's positive. Okay, next one, 14 divided by negative 2. These are different signs. So different signs will be negative. So I go 14 divided by 2, 7. But because they're different signs, it's automatically negative. Okay, this one's tricky. 0 divided by negative 7. If I have 0 things and I'm trying to divide it into 7 groups, how many are in each group? This one's a trick question. What do you think it is? It's actually 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay, just like 0 times anything is 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. That's because if I have 0 things and I'm dividing them into groups, right? 7 groups, 5 groups, 4 groups, I have nothing in the groups. Okay, and we don't put negative because 0 doesn't have a negative or a positive. And then the last one, 3, this means times, right? We don't have to write, when we put the parentheses, just like this one, we don't have to write the multiplication. So 3 times negative 12. So these are different signs because one's positive and one's negative. So we do 3 times 12, 36. But because they're different signs, the answer is negative. Okay. So I'm going to kind of explain why that is. And that's because of these opposites, right? Negative means the opposite of. So this is the opposite of 10 and the opposite of 2. This is 14 and the opposite of 2. 0, opposite of 7, right? That's what negative means. And then 3 with the opposite of 12. So if we think about it, what we're doing is we're taking 10 times 2, 20. I'm taking the opposite of it once, right? Opposite. That gets me negative 20. But because I have a second one, I take the opposite again, and that's how I end up with a positive 20. Okay, because of these two negatives. Take the opposite once, take the opposite twice, positive. The reason that different signs come out negative, and I'll do it down on this one, is because if I take 3 times 12, right, if I take 3 times 12, that's 36. But notice I have one sign that says take the opposite, so that's how I end up with negative 36, because I'm only told to take the opposite one time. Okay, so that's why. All right, so I want you to take a moment here and pause, read over these. Remember what I said in section 1.4, which is that when we have story problems, we should highlight the important things. and then see if you can write the expression first and then evaluate the expression. And remember, words in your problem, words in your answer. All right, so it says Steve made 7 withdrawals. So the fact that there's 7 of them and their withdrawals is important, and it's of $75. What was the overall change in his account? Okay, and that was $75 each. So that's also important. I don't want to miss that part. So that's saying I took 7 times negative 75. And that's because the withdraw is the money, and since I'm taking it away, taking it out of there, it's negative 75. Okay? So we need to make sure that's negative. So we would take 7 times 75. I'm going to do that over here. So 35. 7 times 7 is 49. 9, 49, 50, 51, 52. Okay, so it's negative $525 because of our 1 positive, 1 negative. And then we would say the overall change. Okay, so overall change, or you can just say changes of a loss of $525, or a spending of, right? Because we don't say, oh, what happened with your bank account? Oh, I have negative $525. That's not how we talk about our bank accounts. I would say I spent it, or I lost it, or I used it. Okay. So for this next one, Mary's savings changed by negative 9 each time she goes bowling, negative $9 in all. It changes by negative $99 during the change. That's all of it, right? So the total. How many times did she go bowling? Remember, the question is always important, so we make sure we answer it. I forgot about my question up here. Okay, so this one's not multiplication, right? Because it's a total of negative $99. And it went down by negative $9 each. So that's this change right here. All right. So since they are both positive or negative, sorry, same sign, they're going to be positive. And 99 divided by 9 is 11. So how many times did she go bowling? She went bowling 11 times. Okay. So that's it. That's the lesson. So you're going to notice my last slide has nothing on it. That's because we want you guys to really start practicing writing in the things you want to remember. What do you want to remember? That 2 negatives make a positive with multiplication and division. That's because it's 2 opposites. Okay. Do you want to remember not to forget your signs? Pay attention to your signs. And then notice, again, I don't have this part either. It says, what's your question? We want you to write your question. Okay, we're in module 2. It starts to write your own questions. So you're going to notice that last page is not going to be on the foldable or on my flip charts anymore or on my notes, because we want you to start. I'll remind you every time, but you need to start coming up with things that you want to remember. Okay, and don't forget to write your questions in your form. Don't forget your form. That is something that people are still forgetting. You're writing your notes, but you're forgetting your form. So don't forget to scroll down and do your form. Until next time.